Imagine being a child in a tiny Brooklyn apartment. Your father switching jobs again and again, your family living paycheck to paycheck, and your dreams limited by your zip code. Now picture that same boy years later, walking into boardrooms, shaking hands with leaders, running a company that serves over 100 million people a week. This isn't fiction, this is the real, raw story of Howard Schultz, a man who rose from poverty to become the visionary behind Starbucks. Despite growing up poor, Howard Schultz had one thing many others didn't: determination. He practiced football relentlessly and eventually earned a scholarship to Northern Michigan University. He became the first in his family to go to college. But even there, things weren't easy. He worked multiple jobs, sold his own blood to pay for school, and never stopped dreaming. After graduating, he worked at Xerox, a top company at the time. But Howard wanted something more exciting, more personal. He later joined a small kitchenware company. One day, while reviewing sales reports, he noticed something unusual. A tiny Seattle company called Starbucks was ordering a lot of coffee makers. Curious, he flew to Seattle to visit them. But when he arrived, he was surprised. They didn't even sell coffee drinks, only beans. But what he discovered there would change his life forever. In the streets of Milan, he saw something magical. Coffee wasn't just a drink, it was a ritual, a moment of connection. Locals laughed, shared stories, took breaks from their day, all over tiny cups of espresso. Cafes were full of life and human connection. Howard was inspired. He didn't just want to sell coffee. He wanted to bring this culture to America. Excited, he returned home and pitched the idea to the Starbucks founders to transform Starbucks into an espresso bar experience. But they said no. They didn't believe Americans wanted that. Howard was crushed, but he wasn't ready to give up. Howard could have walked away, but he didn't. Rejected by Starbucks founders, he took a bold step. He opened his own coffee shop. The early days were brutal. He pitched to over 200 investors and got turned down again and again. Most thought it was crazy. Gourmet coffee in America, they laughed. But Howard kept going. Eventually, a few investors saw the vision. With their help, Howard bought Starbucks in 1987. From that moment forward, it was his, the brand, the dream. And he was ready to build something the world had never seen. Under Howard's leadership, Starbucks exploded. From just 11 stores, 2,000s across the globe, but this wasn't just about business. It was about people. Howard believed every barista mattered. Whether full-time or part-time, he gave them health insurance, stock options, and called them partners, not employees. People thought he was crazy again. Why give benefits to a part-time worker? But Howard stayed true to his values. He called it conscious capitalism. Doing well by doing good. Starbucks became more than a coffee brand. It was a place of belonging, where customers felt welcome and workers felt respected. That's why Starbucks didn't just grow. It earned loyalty. It became part of people's lives. And it all started with one man who refused to give up. After years of growth, Howard stepped down as CEO, but without him, something changed. The company got too corporate. Stores felt cold. Sales started to drop. And so did the spirit of Starbucks. In 2008, the board asked Howard to return. Starbucks was in trouble, and they needed their founder back. He came back with bold decisions. He shut down 7,100 stores, not to save money, but to retrain employees. He reminded them Starbucks wasn't about fast service. It was about quality, connection, and hard it worked. Starbucks bounced back stronger than ever. Because real leaders show up when things fall apart.